Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. Okay, welcome to this special edition of It All Boils Down to This, episode 45. Jack and I have been talking all week about the ESPN Top 100 for the century that we are currently in. And he asked me this morning to put my list of 10 together, which I did. And I actually have some little caveats to it as well as we go on. So it's up to you, Jack. I'm going to give it to you. And give me your explanation of what you're thinking.
I just hate the list. Do you have the list? Do you have the top 10?
Hold on. Yes, that was my top 10. I don't know if I have their top 10 yet.
Whattever.
I'll sort it through. I'll get it for you in a second.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Yeah. No, I've just been mad about this athlete thing from even going down. We talked about, I think, from 50 on, even from 50, 25 to 50, all of it. Everyone's all over the place. I think they were trying to it worked because it's gone pretty viral and they were trying to get people mad, and I'm mad about it. So they did their job. I think they were trying to do this though.
Well, yeah. And you know, what's funny is I never read the criteria for it. Who the heck knows? So again, it's an opinion, and you can put numbers together. You can't, first of all, here's what I did today. I separated out the individual contributor versus the team contributor because I think there's a big difference. I put them all together on my list, but I have a list of top 10 for everybody, a top 10 team and a top 10 individual, only because I think it's hard to compare Simone Biles with Stephen Curry, whoever we want to.
Okay, and then you said Biles. I also I don't honestly. It's hard. You can't compare. I don't think you can compare the genders. I don't think you can compare a female athlete with a male athlete. So my list basically, I would say the two that I would think about in the top 10 would be Simone Biles and Serena Williams. But I still don't think you can compare them to the male athletes. So I had 14 people that I considered for my top 10.
Okay, I could my top 10 is everyone in the book is considered.
Yeah, I just don't think that's
too
hard to do.
That you're looking at the athlete and the athlete's contribution, what they've done in the 21st century, really, is how I looked at it. Sure. Because you and I are going to see it differently in a couple of things. That's the way life works, right? So just real quick, we'll go down. Their top 10 was Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, Lionel Messi, LeBron James, Tom Brady, Roger Federer, Simone Biles, Tiger Woods, Usain Bolt, Kobe Bryant. All right. Now, I'm not going to come close to what theirs is. But because again, it's how I would see it. So I'm going to go back to my total rank here, my top 25. And then where do you want to start?
I don't know. Let's go. You do your 10 through 7, and then I'll give mine. So
my 10 through 7 is, again, these are mixing girls and boys and girls. Katie Ledecky at number 10, Tom Brady at number 9, Roger Federer at number 8, Cristiano Ronaldo at number 7.
That's funny. So you have Ronaldo at 7. That's higher. And I don't even have, if you have female, you have probably 2 females too in this. I don't even have the females in mind, which there would be probably a few over Ronaldo. You still have Ronaldo higher than I do. So I have at 10, ready for this?
Okay, great.
This is my hot take. At 10, I have Shohei Ohtani. At 9, I have Steph Curry. At 8, I have Cristiano Ronaldo. And at 6, I have LeBron James.
No, at 7, you have James.
No, at 6, I have James. At 7, I have Federer. So that's my 6. That's down to 6. So that's what, 4 guys?
Okay, so my 6 is Usain Bolt. So again,
Bolt. Okay, I had Bolt because because it really
dominated the sport.
I get it. But it really feels like with him, and I know it'll be hypocritical with another guy I have on here. It really feels like with him, it was once every 4 years. I know he did it. I know that's not true and all, but I had him at 11. For
3 Olympics sequences, he dominated the sport. He also he
But
also
again, it's just so short. It's
he
such. It's
also, to me, though, his impact on the world of
110 seconds.
athletics, though, was so great. He made, they came off all the drug problems of the 80s and 90s, and it was a winner here and there. Guys won. He made that event back to being the greatest event in the world. The 100-meter dash was he made it back. It brought it back into the consciousness of America, of people in reality. And he was the best to do it. And he was a big guy who did it. He had a great personality. It was hard not to like him, that sort of thing. So that's how I like I said, I get Bolt at
Yeah.
6.
Okay, cool. Bolt. Okay, well, I said
Okay, so-
Ohtani. I have Ohtani at 10.
Okay, now
Because I think Ohtani has a case of saying he had like two of the best baseball seasons maybe of all time. So he has to. He's got to be. It's just
now
got to be.
I listen.
50 years from now, Ohtani's going to look
It's
really
different
good.
though. In 25 years, when we're at the 50th, I think you're correct. I'm going to tell you. Well, let's do the top 10. I'll go with my baseball list because I did it by each individual sport too, so I would see it.
All right. So then I had Steph, and then I had Ronaldo at 8, and I had Federer at 7.
I had Curry at 11. I had Biles at 12. So okay. So you're 6.
Right,
okay, who was your 5?
My 5th player. You know what? Let me just give the list because this is stupid what we're doing.
Okay,
so
here we go.
I had at 1. I had Messi. I had Messi at 1.
Shocks. That shocks me.
At 2, ready for this newfound tennis guy? I have Djokovic. I have 2 as Djokovic. I have 3 as Michael Phelps, which again is hypocritical with my Bolt take a little bit. At 4, I have Tiger. Now Tiger would be 2 on this for me if I could take his whole career, but I have to exclude a great year in 99, a great year in 99, and the win in 97.
Well, the overlap in your name.
At 5, I have Tom Brady. He won all the titles. That's why I have him 1 above LeBron because he's won more titles.
And then James
at 7, I have Federer. At 8, I have Ronaldo. At 9, I have Steph. At 10, I have Ohtani. Then I'll just keep going. At 11, I have Bolt. At 12, I have Crosby, I think. 13, Kobe. 14, Duncan.
Okay.
Those are my 14 I considered for the top 10.
Okay, so I go Serena Williams.
Wait, before you go, we'll go over my list, then we'll go over yours. So what do you
first of all, listen, I love Ohtani, but I'm telling you something, the 2 great years, Mike Trout, same thing for 5 years. So it's hard for me again. I rank baseball.
That's not true.
I tell you, Ohtani doesn't, in the century so far, Ohtani doesn't rank in the top 5 for me. There are players from the 2000 on that rank better. So I will say, Miguel Cabrera, all career, in the whole career.
That's not my point, though. That's not my point. I'm saying
that you can't project a future. If Ohtani, let me ask you, if Ohtani stopped playing right now, would he be 10?
So yeah,
answer the question right now, because that's all you get.
Of course, because the example right now is this guy pitched 60 years ago, Sandy Koufax. People talk about him as one of the best pitchers that's ever pitched. Ever. Yeah, he's in all these top athletes. What are you doing for
Koufax? Right.
You dominate like that, do something so super unique. Super unique.
If you look at the top 100 of the last century,
that's a baseball. Obviously, Koufax. That's a no. If you do the top 100 athletes of the 20th century, it is 100. He's 100% on that Koufax. Okay, so Ohtani is definitely on these lists. No, we're not doing that. All right, so that's my list.
So who'd you have? Ohtani, Curry, who I had 11.
Give me your all-male list, and then we'll do a female list.
Well, my all-male list is going to change because I got to figure out who's not in. Hold on.
What do you mean? You just take out the females, and then we'll do that.
Do that right now. Hold on.
You'll have 10 of them. I'll have 10 of them.
Everything's on my spreadsheet here. I don't do anything like you in paper.
Well, all of the top 5 female athletes is what I'll have, and you will too. So I'll go for my top 5.
Right now, I have 3 female athletes in the top. 12. That's it. Same 3 you would have.
Serena Venus.
Okay, so mine will go.
Serena Biles.
And Ledecky. I think Katie Ledecky. I think Katie Ledecky, again, over 3 Olympics, is the greatest female swimmer that ever lived. She wins her event by almost 30 seconds, which is almost unfathomable. So this is why, again, this way, put Bolt, and I really prefer to, instead of male female, I'd like to look at it by individual contributor versus a team, because I think there's a difference between that. Okay, so I go Phelps, Messi, James, Woods, Bolt, Ronaldo,
Go
Federer.
down. Can't even I don't even know what you're saying. No one. What do you
All
call
right,
it?
ready? Phelps first,
Yep.
Messi second, James third,
Yep.
Woods fourth, Bolt
Yeah.
fifth,
Yeah.
Ronaldo sixth,
Yeah.
Federer seventh, Brady 8, Curry 9, Djokovic 10.
Okay, first question. Give me one reason why. Give me one reason why LeBron is you have him 5 spots ahead is ahead of Tom Brady. There's no longevity. Nope. Championships. Nope. There's nothing. Honestly, you maybe
LeBron plays a sport. Here's why. Here's why.
Quarterback though.
Why? He is a quarterback, but here's why. The difference, again, just between just like each sport, you have to look at different. The difference between, well, so then why isn't Mahomes in there in your top 10?
He hasn't won.
Ohtani is Mahomes. If Ohtani's in your top 10, why isn't
Mahomes? If he had 4 or 5, I'd probably have him in there. I'd have him.
Ohtani's got 0.
Man, it's
again,
different.
I think
you don't understand what he has had 3 of the best baseball seasons.
Body of work and the fact that LeBron is 1 of 5 on the court, not 1 of 11 or 22.
Yeah, but it's the quarterback.
But the quarterback only plays half the game.
It's still the quarterback.
Only plays half the game.
But it's still the quarterback. They have equal impact.
But then, okay,
an NBA star and a quarterback have the same level of impact.
He only plays half the game. Okay, so that's fine. I just don't think Brady should be 5. I just don't think so. I mean, impactful, maybe. Or winning, yes.
It's still.
Then why is it?
The argument is like there's 5 versus 11, and he plays half the game. That's your only argument. But it's a quarterback.
Like I screwed up because I'm missing one. I look
at who'd you have? Who's your highest tennis player?
As Federer.
And why? Why? Djokovic beat him.
Because his body of work over the course of the years is better. So Djokovic beat him. Djokovic won 24. I just don't. I think Federer's probably on Djokovic. Nicer guy, just like Usain Bolt. He and Nadal brought tennis into the limelight because there are no good American players.
Yep.
Djokovic is a great player, but if you look at the body of work, I go with Federer.
And what do you know about Ronaldo and Messi?
Absolutely, only what you tell me. And Ronaldo is the second greatest scorer that ever lived, and Messi's the first greatest scorer that ever lived. They're both 1 of 11 on a soccer field. That's why I want to split the teams up from team players to, because Messi's the greatest team athlete living right now. Well, not greatest. He'd be number 1 if it was just a team sport, right? But I feel like Serena and Michael Phelps as individual are just that much better because they had to conquer a lot more. That's all. The one mistake I think I made here, and I'm pissed at myself, I have Tim Duncan too low. I think Tim Duncan's more impactful than Kobe Bryant, and I probably should have done it because I don't like Kobe anyway.
You can argue that. That's fine.
But I had Pujols as my number 1 baseball player, and then Trout.
Did you have Crosby anywhere? Do you have him anywhere?
Yeah, Crosby is 17.
Where'd you have Phelps? I didn't.
Phelps is number 2, 1 for male.
And who was 1?
Serena Williams. I always have Serena Williams. Serena was completely dominant in her sport. She was the best.
Yeah, but so is Messi. I mean,
but Messi's again. Okay, so let me go back to this. I'm going to go to individual contributors. My top.
But like, here would be the thing. You know what I would do is I don't think in like the modern era, no one's like close to him. Really, there's really nobody just anywhere in his sport that's ever played the sport. With the only guy who's close to him remotely, statistically, is Ronaldo. And there's nobody close, like, you know what I mean? And there won't be. Even Mbappe, he'll get somewhat, but he won't get to them numbers wise. He just won't. It's just, I don't know. That's why I have him 1. I just think he dominated his sport at such a level that.
Hey, this is why we have the discussion. And that's he's my number 1 team player.
So you what do you think like I have here? I have like Messi. This is true. In 2011, 2012, that season, he played 60 matches. That's including he might have been subbed in some matches. Probably not that. He played 60 matches. He scored 73 goals and he had 32 assists. That's never going to happen. No one's ever going to do that again. In all these other sports, someone can do that.
Gretzky did it.
That's never happened.
Gretzky did it in the 80s and 90s.
Well, that's not going to happen again. But like I'm saying that's what he did. He did Wayne.
Okay.
So that's a good point. Thank you for that name. he did Wayne Gretzky type stats. Both of them kind of did in a modern era.
And how many gold medals did Michael Phelps win in swimming in single Olympics? Nobody has ever done that before. Nobody has ever dominated the tennis like Serena Williams dominated.
How much? But no, how much higher is he than Phelps than like the next best swimmer? Like in terms of this era, like
I mean,
really this era in terms of like post 19.
There's a lot of guys. There's the guy. What's the Thorpe? Ian Thorpe out of Australia, who was a dominant long distance guy, big strong guy. You'd ask me to research that.
That's another thing. It's like swimming to me. There's so many different types. There's different types of swimming.
Different events, right? Ledecky is a distance swimmer.
Soccer. You dominate, and that's why like you're individual team sport. I don't get
that's the red herring. I'm calling.
But like Messi, if you get the advantage of Messi,
listen,
playing one-on-one.
I'm not going to doubt that you think Messi's won. I just don't think Messi's won. Now, if I go to individual contributing sports, I go Williams, Phelps, Woods, Bolt, Federer, Katie Ledecky, Biles, Djokovic, and then I had Floyd Mayweather, but one of the three great auto racing guys could have been in there too. Schumacher, Hamilton, or Jimmy Johnson.
You're driving a car.
They're driving a car for 500 miles. They have to they have to concentrate.
Good. I don't care. You know who the greatest individual contributor in the history of any sport is?
Who?
Ohtani. Individual contributor.
It's a team.
It's not. Baseball.
Baseball. I agree with you a little bit.
Soccer's a team sport. Baseball is not a team sport.
I agree with you a little bit.
It is not.
It is mano a mano, right? It's different.
He pitches and he hits.
Different than basketball because the defense has the ball. I agree with you.
All you have to say, the only line about Ohtani that matters last year, he would have won the MVP if he didn't pitch. If he didn't hit, he would have been an all-star as a pitcher.
Right.
That's never happened before.
This year, as a non-pitcher, he could win the MVP. I agree with you.
So that's like Messi.
I'm not doubting.
Never happen again.
On our last podcast, he's the unicorn. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying there's a body of work. I think right now, Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, and Miguel Cabrera, even Justin Verlander have had a body of work that is better right now over the 21st century than Ohtani. I'm not disagreeing that he's the unicorn. He's great. Not that. But like I said, you took the women out. Team sport ranking, I go Messi, James, Ronaldo, Brady, Curry, Bryant, Pujols, Trout, Crosby, Mahomes. And I think Mahomes is going to be like Ohtani. Eventually he's going to flop into the range where he's right with it, right in the Brady era. Underrated guys in the team spots. Tim Duncan, Peyton Manning, and Miguel Cabrera, and Justin Verlander. I think those are three underrated people to me, and underrated. Now, I don't know enough about like MMA and like, is Diana Taurasi, or is she, or Sue Bird, or any of those women's basketball players? 20 years from now, it could be Caitlin Clark, might be in the top 10 because she will have converted or changed the way everybody watches women's basketball. So it's a good discussion to have. I don't know why you would separate the women out from the men, though. That sort of baffles me a little bit. Why would you think that? Because they're different sex or something?
You've been frozen you were just frozen for like 30 seconds.
Okay,
I didn't hear any. You're back now. I didn't hear anything you said. I was counting something on my phone.
It's telling me the internet connection is unstable. Hold on a second. Did you get lost again?
Yeah, I just got dropped.
Our internet's crap in the bed, but I'll be able to edit that out.
Wait, I'm trying to count. So I'm trying to get a stat here for us. So 57. Just keep talking if you have anything to say. This is useless what we're doing right now. 62.
Yes, I agree. So what I will say is this: on a team side of things, I looked at what sports are really get more creative. There's more football players than baseball players, and actually more basketball players than baseball players. And there's more football and baseball than soccer. So again, this is ESPN, so it's the United States. And I know that you had some disagreements on where was A and B and C with regards to soccer players. So that makes, in reality, that makes some sense to me that you would have that concern. But again, it's an objective thing. And I'm still going to stick with, I like who my top 10 is. I think there's arguments all the way down the line that can be made. Is Tom Brady better than Lionel Messi, or because he's won more football games than anybody else in the history? Is Ohtani better than Mike Trout? although Trout's on the tail end of his career now.
All right.
Is
I
it
got the
Tony
stat
Bennett?
now. You don't have to
Albert
fill them
Pujols.
up.
Albert Pujols, who played the whole 2000 until he retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So, yeah. So Manchester United last year as a team scored 85 goals. In the calendar year of 2012, Messi scored like 91 goals.
So then, guess what?
He had like 30 assists to go with it. So
Manchester United better get better players. That's all.
no, we saw. Oh, dude, we're Ugarte's
So let me
coming
ask,
now.
my question to you.
We got Lenny. We got Lenny. We're getting Ugarte.
My question to you is really this: where do you rank a Floyd Mayweather? Where do you rank a Michael Schumacher?
Ooh, I forgot.
Or where do you rank? Where do you think there's like the cricket player that was on there? Where do we put those guys? You know, even American Pharaoh, right? Who was a Triple Crown winner for the first time in 30 years.
I forgot about American Pharaoh.
But where do you
Special
put?
shout out. I'm losing battery here. Special shout out to those two horses. I loved horse racing when American Pharaoh won. That's one of like the iconic moments. Like, I'm not. This is gonna sound like wrong and all, but like I go through like phases with weird sports, and like right now I'm in my tennis phase. That replaced my horse racing phase, where I loved American Pharaoh. It started with California Chrome. American Pharaoh.
Put him on the list.
Shout out. He does. He does.
So before we wrap up, and I'm going to wrap up with our lists again, where do you put the like Lewis Hamilton and Schumacher and Jimmy Johnson? They're athletes. Yeah. They're just as much athletes.
Right. I forgot about Floyd.
And then Floyd Mayweather, and who was the other? Bernard Hopkins, and I think there was one other boxer on this. I forget who they had on the list.
Pacquiao.
Yes, Pacquiao. Where do we put those guys, and why are they different than the swimmers or the track guys? So that's a nice question to ask. I'd like to get hopefully for our listeners.
What's the title of the article, the ESPN article? Is it Greatest Athletes of the 21st Century?
Hold on, I'll tell you in a second.
I want to know what the exact thing is, because I might have a guy here. This is gonna be a stupid point by me.
It says here. It's taken. Our internet connection at home is terrible right now.
All right, whatever.
Ranking the top 100 pro athletes of the 21st century is what it said. So now, for all our listeners out there,
I thought it was going to say like most impactful or something, and I was going to say Charles Barkley.
Yeah, all 15. He's not that because he was an announcer.
The impact he's had on television as a pro athlete.
So before we recap, all our listeners out there, if you want to join in next time, we'll have you. If you get your top 10 list together, email it to me or Jack. Text it to Jack or I.
What's Brian King? Judge?
Yeah, because he'd pick all the Yankees. Brian would pick the Yankees.
That's why I said Judge.
And all those guys. We should get McGilvray. So everybody's listening, and we're going to get this out probably
Tommy T, Larry Bird.
Yeah, that's what we need. Larry Bird can't even walk in this century. So it is called ranking the top 100 pro athletes of the 21st century. Mm-hmm. At some point, if we get on with this, when we start talking in the real world stuff, we can go through it even deeper. Anybody out there who wants to contribute, I'd love to hear everybody's top 10 lists. Again, Jack, my top 10 was Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Lionel Messi, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, Usain Bolt, Cristiano Ronaldo, Roger Federer, Tom Brady, and Katie Ledecky. And yours was?
Mine was, I don't know. I thought you had it. Mine was Messi, Djokovic.
Yep.
Phelps,
Tiger,
Brady, LeBron, Federer, Ronaldo, Steph, Shohei Ohtani.
Good. And you eliminated the females, and you have their own female top 10 list, I'm sure too, right?
Well, yeah, like it's just too hard. It's too hard to compare it like that. It really is.
Right, and I think from the female perspective, I think from the female perspective, right now the top three are Williams, Biles, and Ledecky.
Those are missing some, but there's so many other. Like there's gonna be.
The soccer player. I was looking at once Marta and.
Well, Marta would be up there. Yeah, why would
woman from Spain? She's
won a ton of Ballon d'Ors. Marta for sure.
Right, but again,
Putellas. Well, I think that's her name. She's
yes.
She's the best probably the best soccer player in the world from Spain. Plays for Barcelona. I feel like they win the Champions League every year.
Even back to the Americans,
they're pretty good. But tennis, there's other tennis players.
Not really.
Players. No,
not good enough. No. If you look at the Williams sisters, Serena Williams dominated.
What about golfers? There's golfers.
Yeah, Rory and Phil.
No, I'm talking about female golfers.
There's not many.
Really, from the century.
Monica Sorenstam, maybe. Although she might have been the 90s and the 2000s.
There's the track.
Yeah, there's always somebody. But
that's the thing. Most of the females. At the end of the day, it'd be Olympic sports, and it'd probably be gymnasts. There's more gymnasts too.
Right, and I think I think there's some track women who have really done great. I think the basketball women, there's probably 5 or 6 basketball players that we could put on.
Okay. We forgot. There's a ton of basketball players you could do. Female basketball players. From
Basketball players. I'm sure
Caitlin Clark. I just choked. Caitlin Clark with 19 assists for sure. So I'm running out of battery. I got one more athlete we have to mention. Who would, at the end of the day, if you could erase a few things, even though it would change a lot.
Alex Rodriguez.
If this never happened, no, even better than Alex Rodriguez in terms of an individual sport, even though they call it a team sport. I still haven't figured out how. Lance Armstrong.
Oh, none of the year, another, but his
dominated.
His were like in the late 90s too.
But he changed his sport, everything about his sport.
Right. His sport was always.
He was a megastar. He was Tiger. And another one I have, Tony Hawk.
Yep, and what about Shaun White? Another one.
No, well, he's lower. He's nothing. Tony Hawk's he's dominated.
Tony Hawk's is crazy. All right, so those are
about to tie.
I know those are our top 10 list. Episode 45 is complete. For Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. It all boils down to this, and we'll see you on down the road.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We are always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.